Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geology. This is our first class, and or recording, I guess. And my goal here is to just kind of introduce the science of geology a little bit, and then talk a little bit about how the class is going to work. And so, geology is the study of the Earth. It can be broadly divided into physical geology, which is what you're taking. So, rocks, minerals, plate tectonics, streams, kind of everything that you see going on around you, kind of right now. Although, it's very difficult to do geology in the right now. And then the other broad division is historical geology. Which is the history of the Earth, which kind of includes paleontology and then sort of applied plate tectonics, reconstructing what happened. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. That's a lot of time to cover and a lot of events to cover within that time. But we're going to be concentrating more on physical geology this semester, although we'll do a little bit of historical because you really just kind of can't ignore that. The other fun thing about geology is that you can easily combine other sciences with it. It is such a broad field. Before I could even begin taking geology classes at Florida State, I had to take, chemistry and physics and some math, before they would even let me into a real, majors level geology class. And so there's a lot that goes into this. But, if you want to be a chemist, you can be a geochemist. If you want to be a physicist, you can be a geophysicist. Right? If you want to be a biologist, you can be a geobiologist, which is also known as a paleontologist. And there, I could go on, but that's just about any science that you want to do, you can do it to the earth. So in that sense, it's a very broad science. The other fun thing about geology is it's a science you can get a job in. I have several students who've gone on to major in geology and gone on to get jobs. So, as sciences go, it's a very useful one, and it's one that people, do for a living all the time. So having kind of introduced that, I'm going to introduce the class. So there's going to be a little break in the video while I get some things up. I'll get some things up, and I will be right back. Okay, then. Hello, everyone, and through the magic of video editing, I'm back. I'm still down here in the lower right-hand corner. Hi. Okay, so here I am at our My Courses section, and let me just click on this, so we'll get to somewhat normal view, and that's kind of the same, but let's have a look at the syllabus anyway. We'll begin here. So I have a bad habit of writing pretty plain syllabuses or syllabi. So here's ours. Let's just roll through it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about some things. So there's my information. That phone number is pretty useless because that is from my office on the Clearwater campus, and I am up in my secret lair in North Carolina. So by far the best way to get me is through email. I pretty much get back to that pretty quickly. So that's definitely the best way to get in touch with me. And then if we need to talk somewhat face to face, we can Zoom, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. You can see it over here to the left. Objectives, this being a course in geology, oddly enough, our objective is to learn something about geology. As far as class format, we're online, but basically I am dragging my face-to-face class kind of online, and I'll talk more about that. But anyway, attendance, yeah, this is an online course, so bleh. Okay, so do please post to the introduce yourself discussion, just so I know you're here. Some of you are doing a great job of telling me about yourself. I'll get back to those posts. Some of you are just saying hi. That's fine too. If, well, I'm not going to force you to tell me about yourself, but do just let me know you're here. the withdrawal deadline, have a look at the college academic calendar. That will tell you when that is. I honestly forget. But if you're not, really feeling it, and you just, this isn't what you thought it would be, or you're not liking it, or you're not doing it, or whatever, go ahead and withdraw yourself. Do go ahead and withdraw yourself. And by that, what I mean is, don't just stop showing up, because or stop working, because if you do that, you're going to make zeros on tests, and you're going to fail the class. I'm going to give you an F. You withdraw yourself. Obviously, that doesn't happen. Anyway, so do go ahead and do that. No, I'm not dying. And so grades, and this brings us to something kind of that people have been emailing me about, and so because. Um, I don't know. I guess with an online class, you're used to, when you log in and there's stuff to do, and there's assignments and this and that, and I'm not really doing that here. um, I have a perfectly good face-to-face class that I'm basically trying to reconstruct online. And so, in a face-to-face class, we would show up on Tuesday and Thursday. And so I'm planning on recording these videos on Tuesday and Thursday. I've got a standing thing on Tuesday that might get in the way of that. I might switch it to Monday, Wednesday, but I don't know. We'll start out with Tuesday, Thursday. So normally we would meet on Tuesday and Thursday. We would, y'all would listen to me talk for about an hour or so, maybe an hour 15, and then we would go. And we would, I would give you a review sheet for a test, and eventually we would have a test, etc., etc. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm really just adapting my face-to-face class to online pretty directly. And so you all already have review sheets for the test. You have a book. You have my PowerPoints. You have notes. And the only thing you're really lacking to having, what would be a face-to-face class is me talking to you. So here I am. And so we're going to try this, and I think it'll work. And so, what you really want to be, quote unquote, working on then are the review sheets for the tests, because the tests, which I haven't actually written yet because they're going to be online, so that's a whole different thing, are going to be based, though, very heavily, kind of like entirely, okay, on that review sheet. So that's really what you want to study for. So like I said, you got a bunch of stuff. I'll show you here in a minute. You've got the book, you've got my lectures, you've got my PowerPoints, you've got my notes, and so that you can use to assemble yourself, answers to those questions on the review sheet. That's what you study, and then you take the test, right? We're going to have 3 tests, not a cumulative final, just 3 unit examinations. Okay, so test 3, which will eventually appear down here in the unit 3 module. Test 3 is really just going to be unit 3. It's not going to be a great big hairy final exam. So 3 unit tests and a paper on some kind of geology topic. I am pretty flexible about what I think geology is. Let me think a little bit. I'll write something up and make a little module for that, so that you'll have a Dropbox and some more information about that. But there's a paper and 3 tests, right? And so the tests will be proctored with honor lock. They will be closed book and closed note and closed everything. I will get honor lock set up. I will get an honor lock practice test set up. I just now, not just now, but an hour ago, came out of an honor lock seminar where I learned all kinds of things about honor lock, etc., etc. And so I'll get you all that information. So yeah, so 3 tests. And then a paper. Each of those 4 things count evenly toward your grade. So 25% on the paper, 25% per test, and bingo, there's your grade. Okay. So unlike a lot of online classes, including like if you had, earth science online with me, we had activities and we had this and we had that. This is a little more like a face-to-face class, except we're not literally staring at each other, right? I chose not to do it where we would all get in a Zoom meeting together or something, because frankly, that's just a pain in the neck for everyone. And so I think I prefer this way, where I can record the videos at my convenience, and you can watch them at your convenience, and everyone's happy that way. So that's kind of my plan. So with 25% each for a test, then 25% for a paper, just a standard kind of 10-point grading scale, 90 something's a A, 80 something's a B, etc., etc. So there we go. So this is a lot like a face-to-face class. Really, it's just you can do it all whenever you want to. Okay, I don't really have deadlines. The only real deadline we're going to have are the test dates, which I'll figure out. I got to divide this semester in 3 and kind of work those out, but I'll get those worked out and get them to you. Don't worry, I'm not going to say, okay, we're all going to have a test tomorrow. Okay, yeah, don't no, we're not going to do that. Okay. But I'll get those test dates for you. So, assistance, if you need help, I don't know if I edited this for online or not. Does any of this make sense? It kind of makes sense. Okay, yep. Okay, so if you need help, get with me, okay? Email is a great way to get me if it's a pretty simple question. If it's a little bit more complicated, we can go ahead and do a Zoom. You can see I've got a module here. I will get my actual office hours up here when I get them done, but they're kind of a little bit irrelevant. but if we need to talk face to face, we can do that on Zoom. There's a link to a permanent meeting that I have set up, and I will help you all that I can. I have a lot of tools here for helping people. I can draw things, I can show you things. We can do all kinds of stuff on Zoom, stuff that is even kind of hard to do face to face. So I think it'll work out pretty well. So if you do have issues or something you just don't understand, let me know, okay, and I will definitely help. If you're a student with a documented disability, let me know if you need, a time and a half on testing or something. Anything I can do, let me know. Definitely let me know. Don't cheat. Please don't cheat. About the only way I can think of for y'all to cheat would be to upload your completed review sheet to one of those sites online that like distributes those kinds of things. And if I catch you doing that, God help you. Don't do that. Seriously, I'll get some lawyers involved here, because that's like a copyright violation and all kinds of things. So just don't do that. Okay. The honor lock system is pretty good at locking you down on tests. So I'm not really worried. Just study. Okay. Ask questions if you have them, study, and we're good to go. Okay, let me show you. So I already showed you the honor lock link, because that's kind of the end of my syllabus. My I don't know, the syllabi that I write, they're kind of lame. I got to get better at that. But anyway, let's take a look. So the class is divided into 3 parts, 3 units, and so here's unit 1. There's the introduce yourself discussion topic. Please post that, even if you just say hi, just so I know you're there, because I want to know you're there. And then here's the review for test 1, and you can download this. I'm just opening it, but you can download this. One of the first things we're going to talk about is plate tectonics. So the next lecture, the Thursday lecture for this week, will actually be on the scientific method with respect to geology. And then the first lecture next week, due to come out on Tuesday, will be plate tectonics, right? And so there's the review sheet for plate tectonics. So the test, or not plate tectonics rather, but unit 1. So the test will be based entirely on this review sheet, right? And so basically what unit 1 is, well, the basics. Plate tectonics, minerals, igneous rocks, sediments and sedimentary rocks, right? And so we'll get to metamorphics next time. And so there it is, right? So what you want to be doing is getting yourself good answers for these questions, right? Because the test is going to be based, once again, very heavily, entirely on these review sheets. I promise you. I'm not going to write a review sheet about one thing and a test about another thing. Okay, the test is based on the review sheet. If you want to know what's going to be on the test, look at the review sheet. Okay, I got plenty of material right here. I don't need to be looking for other stuff. So what you want to use, obviously, maybe, to answer these questions is, yes, my lectures, and then my notes and the book and my, what in my PowerPoints, things like that, right? When I do this face to face, what I tell people is, print that out and what am I talking about? Print out the review sheet and bring it to the lecture, right? That way you can kind of follow along, do a version of that, for the way we're doing this, and you'll be fine. The other thing, sorry, I have heartburn, not the plague. The other thing that you have that you may have seen me click on are the notes, and what these notes are my PowerPoints, the words from my PowerPoints, exported and kind of formatted nicely into an outline so that you have, that was bad formatting there, wasn't it? But anyway, kind of formatted into an outline so that you have them, right? And the point of this in my, face-to-face class is that, you're not having to write things down as you're listening to me lecture. A little bit different here, but essentially the same thing, right? This way you have a nice set of notes. You can listen to me talk, follow along in the notes, and you're good to go, right? As you do that, get answers to these review questions. I would really very highly recommend that you write out answers to these questions, because that forces your brain to really grapple with the knowledge. Because people like to say, "Well, I understand it, I just can't say it." Okay. I have bad news for you. If you can't say it, you don't understand it. Okay, writing something down really forces you to know right away whether you actually know something or not. Because I found, in my personal experience, that if I'm having trouble writing about something, it's probably because I don't know what I'm talking about, and I need to go back. When I was writing my master's, writing papers, writing my PhD, writing all this stuff, if I was having a problem, it's because I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't understand it. I need to go back and figure that out. So, writing answers out will do you a lot of good. The other nice thing is, once you've written answers out, if you want to say, "Hey, could you look these over before I start studying for the test?" I'm happy to. Shoot them to me in an email. Let me look them over. Let me make sure that you got the right answers, so that you're studying, right? When people have problems with the class, one of the first things I tell them is, "Let me see your review sheet." And I don't mean just the questions, I mean the answers, right? So that we can make sure that they're studying the right stuff. And so so if you write out these answers, then yeah, you can shoot them to me in an email and say, "Hey, this is what I got, from your lecture. Is that right?" And I can say, "Yeah, that's good," or maybe, "No, you've got a little bit too much there," or maybe you don't have enough, or, "No, that's not really what I meant by that." And, we'll get you going so that when you start studying, we can be sure you're studying the right stuff. So everything kind of hinges on these review sheets. Okay, so, what else do I have in this module? Let's see. So there's the review sheet. All right, there's the notes. We saw those. This time scale, I haven't clicked on this in a while, so let's see if it's going to open. And maybe it's not. Okay, I'll get another one. What will be here, imagine a geologic time scale. Hold on one second. Oh, never mind. I'll just do that later. So anyway, just imagine a geologic time scale here, and I will get one and put it there, because this is where we get those weird words Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Permian, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, etc. And as you're reading along, and people, authors use these words as if you know what they're talking about, and suddenly, they don't, or you don't. And so I will get you a time scale just so that you can know what's going on. If this was a historical geology class, we would be memorizing the time scale. It's physical. We're not going to worry too much about it. But I still want you to know what's going on with these words and things like that. So I haven't clicked on that link in like a year, and so I'll get you one that actually works. And then this is a chart of, and it should work because it's mine. Yeah, of different kinds of plate boundary and what sorts of things you can expect to see. And this refers back to one of the review questions. So that'll make a little more sense after we talk about plate tectonics, and then before we move on. So anyway, so there's that, and then the only other thing in this module is this link to a VARC. And what a VARC is, this is a questionnaire that determines how you learn. Different people process information in different ways. And there's obviously nothing wrong with that. For example, if you're going to send me to the grocery store to buy things, if there's more than 4 things, I need a list. I will not remember. I simply will not remember. And so so make me a list, right? I don't learn by people telling me things. Okay, I just don't. And so I learn by reading, I learn by touching, I learn by manipulating things, right? And so, for example, in all of my school career, and oh my gosh, I've been going to school. I went to school for a long time, at AA, at Tallahassee Community College, and then a bachelor's degree from Florida State and a master's and a PhD from Texas A&M. All that school, I never once recorded a lecture. It never even occurred to me to record a lecture because that's not how I learn. I could listen to that lecture over and over again and it would just put me to sleep over and over again. So different people learn in different ways, right? If you want to teach me something, make me write it down, make me manipulate it, make me work with it. That I'll learn that way. That grocery store run we were talking about, at the end of a shopping trip, let's say a really big one, and I'm going back over my list to see if I got everything or not. I know right away whether or not I got something. I don't have to sit there and think about, did I remember to get the eggs? No, I remember the eggs. I touched the eggs. I'm friends with the eggs now. I know the eggs, because I manipulated something, I remember it. But just telling me get this, and this from the store, I'm going to forget stuff. I am absolutely going to forget stuff. So what this does is this little online instrument, tells you how you learn. So you take a little quiz, kind of like a little Facebook quiz, only they're not ripping off your data. It's just a real quiz. Really short, just a few questions about, how you would prefer to have information presented to you, and then hit OK. And what it will do is it will tell you how you learn, right? It tells you how your brain tends to process information best, but also how you should study. Right? Like I said, I never recorded a lecture, but oh my gosh, flashcards. I have made thousands of flashcards over the years because that will get information into my head. Other people, flashcards don't work for, right? Other people do record lectures. And the nice thing about this format is you got my lecture recorded. So if you want to go back and, listen to it again, God help you, you can. And so it's not, I don't require it, but I've had students take it and it's really actually helped them. Once again, I don't have the plague, I promise. So anyway, okay, so there's that, and so that's the first module, right? Now, what will appear down here by the time you're watching this will be another submodule that will say I don't know, videos or lectures or something like that, and I will stick this lecture in there. And so if you're watching this, you already found that. Hooray, you. Okay, so this is everything that you need to to prepare for the first test, right? Do the introduce yourself discussion. The review sheet is the central thing. That's really what we're going to be working on. You got notes. I'll get you a good time scale. Tectonic chart will make more sense when we do plate tectonics. And then here are the PowerPoints if you want them. My plan is to download the PowerPoints from here so that I'm positive I'm giving the lecture based on the PowerPoint that's here and not some other lecture. And so you'll be getting that. Why do I have let me just see something. I've got a Metamorphic Rocks PowerPoint there, but were Metamorphic Rocks on the review sheet? Let's find out real quick. And here we go, review sheet, and no Metamorphic Rocks. Okay, let me look into that a little bit. I'll clarify. Oh, yep, there are Metamorphic Rocks here. They are just shoved up in here. Structures, crossbeds, foliation. So metamorphic rocks begin right there with question number 38. So that's just a formatting error on my part. I didn't set those apart. So I'll make a note on that so that you guys know that. But anyway, okay. So there is unit 1. Okay, so what do you want to do? Okay, what you want to do is introduce yourself, and like I said, if all you do is say hi, that's fine. But I don't know. Tell me a little more. But anyway, and then begin. Okay, so I say begin working on the worksheet on the review sheet, but the next lecture will be on the scientific method, and then beginning next week we will begin plate tectonics, which is actually where the review sheet picks up. Okay, so maybe start thinking about a paper topic. Start looking through the book a little bit. Start looking at things, and just like I said, what I'm doing here is just basically dragging my face-to-face course online. So what you really want to be doing is working on the review sheet, right? Getting ready for a test, which will eventually appear in here for y'all to take. Okay, there's a module that says paper. I don't even know what's in it. I'll look at that. Oh, that looks pretty good. We'll see. Okay. Anyway, alrighty. Okay, I believe that's everything we need. Email is by far the best way to get in touch with me. So there's that. So look for my next video to come out on Thursday, and that will cover the scientific method from the standpoint of geology. And I'm certain that you have sat through scientific method lectures before. Mine is better. Yours might have actually been wrong. So we'll see. So tune in on Thursday for the scientific method. Okay. All right. Y'all take care and get me if you need me. Okay.